5:30, so before we open our regular meeting tonight, we'll move first into our public hearing. The first item on the public hearing is consideration to approve frontage and private road on Adams Chapel Road. There is nobody signed up to speak for public input. Did anybody intend to sign up? That's on our regular public input. I got you, Juwan. All right, Director Walker.
Did you need any background information we can go over case?
You could just give us the quick summary and then the recommendation, please.
Okay, background for Adams Chapel Road, parcel 008-00114, 008-00097, and 008-00122. These proposed lots are planned to be a family compound. Developer wants to use the land for a family compound and subdivide into 4 parcels. 3 of the parcels each will have a minimum of 2 acres, and the remaining land is left for the owner and wife. They also request a 60-foot easement to provide access to each of the 4 parcels. The Planning Commission did approve the request and the variance with recommendations. First one, subdivision portions must be 3 acres. They can work with the planning and zoning staff if not exactly 3 acres. So if it's a little below, a little over, they can work with us on that. The homes must be 1,500 square feet in size. The homes will be put in family members' names. Family will be responsible for maintenance of road. No mobile homes or campers will be on any of the properties. Must create access for emergency vehicles to get on and turn around on property. Emergency services must approve the road. Approval of road frontage and 60-foot easement constructed from approved gravel to access parcels on condition the gravel road meets specifications. And the property cannot be further subdivided. Other than that, they get approved.
All right, we'll save questions from the board until the action later in the meeting. Next, we have on the public hearing a consideration to approve subdivision of Ansley Village. Again, I don't have anybody signed up, but there is a crowd and
If I signed the wrong, I apologize.
okay. Leslie, if you'll give us the background, and then we'll ask the guests to come up.
This is for Ansley Village subdivision, excuse me. The property is currently a wooded acreage, and Beasley Development Code, Inc. is planning to build a 338 single-family 3 to 4 bedroom homes ranging in square footage from 17 square feet to 2439 square feet. The development will be completed in phases of 50 lots per phase. The price point for the homes is between $200,000 and the low $300,000s. The land does have some wetlands, and Blue Water Engineering is working with them on the wetlands. Most lots average 60 by 150 feet or 9,000 square feet. Proposed density is 2.81 homes per acre. A 30-foot wide undisturbed buffer will be provided around the entire property. The Planning Commission approved the request with conditions. First one, the exterior must be brick, stone, stucco, or hardy-type board on all sides. Cul-de-sacs, streetlights, and curbing and sidewalks must meet code. Fire hydrant locations and flow tests must meet 2024 fire code. Water system must be looped with 8-inch minimum lines. 1 tree per lot or every 50 feet frontage. Size setbacks at 10 feet. Home size 1,700 to 2,400 square feet. Compliance with subdivision ordinance, house numbering, and mail receptacle placements.
All right, so like I said, nobody wanted to sign up for public input for this public hearing. You want to come on and address the board?
Sure.
Ashley, can you sign this after he speaks?
If I signed the wrong thing, I apologize.
That's all right. She's
Okay.
going to give that to you after
I'll
you speak.
I'll sign it. No, not a problem. My name is Joseph Molino. I'm Vice President of Development for Beasley Development. I'm the one that's presenting this. Mr. Leslie has pretty much given you a good background. We're good with the conditions except for condition 1 and condition 6. I believe I had sent a package up here for each of you to look at, excuse me, with a little bit of a letter kind of explaining where we were coming from. We feel that the exterior, we want to do brick, stucco, stone, any combination hardy plank on the front, but to keep pricing down, we'd like to do vinyl on 3 sides. Now that at the Planning Commission, one of the issues was brought up that it's a fire issue. Well, the building code's table 302.1, if separation of buildings is 5 feet. So I don't think the vinyl is an issue with the fire code. Also with the 10-foot setback, we presented 5, and I presented a couple of neighborhoods to show you the different, what a 5-foot setback looks like. We never go to 5 feet. We usually stop at about 7.5, but we like the 5 feet. Just in case somebody goes, one of my builders goes a little bit off. We would hope maybe a compromise of 7.5 setback. If you go to 10, what that's gonna do is I'm gonna lose 1 lot for every 10 lots because I have to adjust my lot size to accommodate the type of house we wanna build. Now, while that's maybe not a problem, the issue becomes then I will go from 338 houses to about 300, give or take, round number. When you start looking at amenities, we're planning to put a pool, a nice 2 pickleball courts. There'll be a pavilion, a gathering. I believe I sent you some pictures of 2 that we have already done, or at least one of them. The HOA can't afford a pool at 300 homes. A pool maintenance on average is about $2,500 a month. You don't want to run your dues for an HOA up into the 2,000s. You want to keep it down around that 300 or 400. Make it affordable, but give them good amenities. That's one of the reasons we try to hit that 340 mark for a pool. I hope you've seen that. There isn't really much. Those are the 2 we're after this bad word. Those are the 2 we would like some consideration on. We'll agree to all 9 if that's what it takes. We would just like to see if we can work together. I don't know if you guys have been heard about the SRS-CRO housing study, but that was conducted and it encompassed 8 counties. McDuffie County, one of the 4 in Georgia. Over the next less than 5 years, they are anticipating that 17,350 homes will be needed by the year 2030. McDuffie County alone will require, their study saying 600. If you get the 600 in the next 5 years, that'll generate just in property tax almost $600,000. We're trying to just grow these counties. The jobs are coming. So we're just trying to provide decent housing, good housing for the people. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
You said 1-6, but the list I have has the setbacks as item 10. So can you specify one more time?
It's a letter I sent to you on mine. One is the exterior of the buildings, the 3 sides. We'd like to stay with vinyl. And then the setbacks, if it's possible, to go to 7.5.
I believe it's A and F in your agenda.
Okay.
All right, all I had was just the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd love 5, but we can live with 7.5.
Are there any questions, or you want to save those for the item later in the agenda?
Well, I was talking to Wes. He was reasonably okay with the 7.5, and I think that has something to do with fire as well. Is that not correct? If you separate a 7.5.
Yeah, this is the property line setback. He was talking about the fire for the vinyl. If the board chooses to allow the exception to have vinyl on 3 sides.
Yeah, well,
The fire code is 5. the separation distance between structures, but I
Okay.
believe that this side setback, you're
It'll
talking
give you
about the
15
property line.
feet.
Yeah,
There'll be 15 feet between buildings. The fire code is, it says greater than 5. I'm quoting from my memory. And I believe for a non-fire rated wall, a 0-hour wall, it's 5 feet or greater, separation between buildings.
So there'll be 15 feet
It'll be 15 feet.
in your subdivision.
Yes, ma'am? Yes, sir.
So brick stucco front. but
Front.
the Siding. you will
The siding would
brick
be
and stuff,
vinyl,
but
yes.
Siding vinyl, and it does.
Yeah, if you
it's
go
cold,
to hardy plank, or you do it on all 4 sides, you're actually adding, just in construction costs, about $10,000 to $12,000 to the cost of that house. Tack on to that the interest payment, and then the 6% you pay to the real estate agent, it gets up there a little bit higher. We've done this in Somerton Village, which is in Aiken, Clearwater Preserve, which is also in Aiken, and a couple other neighborhoods in Georgia, Southampton, and it actually works very well, and it does keep the price down for the home buyers. If you're well aware, trying to build what they call workforce housing, it's a challenge, and this is one way we can present and build a nice home for a good price. And I think McDuffie County and Thompson's a nice place people want to live.
Well, that's my concern, is the pricing, because affordability is
It's a fight.
bad right now.
I
and,
understand.
It's very difficult to afford a house, number one, because of construction prices, number two, interest rates. But my other concern would be safety. So if that's, you being a fire person, I feel like 15, and he says 15 feet, says 5 is, 10 is adequate, 15 would be better, I'm thinking.
I'm also an ex-firefighter. I was up in Jersey fighting fires.
My apologies.
Mine too.
What's the cost and range of those you cited in Aiken? What's the cost?
They're going around 220, 230, 240, gets up a little bit higher. We have touched, just about 300, but that's maybe a bigger house on a bigger lot. But we're running around the 220, 230, 240 mark for some of these houses. Hopefully prices we're starting to see some stabilization on materials. A lot of it is beginning to come down, so we're able to at least bring our prices down somewhat.
So your range will be 220 to 300.
For this neighborhood, yes. We're providing a good amenity package. We'll have some, and you got some beautiful wetlands out there, which I hope to incorporate in a kind of a trail, like a walking type path around them. We are investigating the wetlands, of course. I can't build in a wetland, but we can use them as an amenity. Hopefully have some activities, a pickleball court. The amenity center we built in Clearwater has been received real well. Nice pavilion people are using. Fire pit. Some of the trees I took down, we cut up and left it for them to use. And then got the pickleball courts, even in my neighborhood. They're being used almost literally every day. So we're giving some amenities back. Make a nice neighborhood. You all be proud of.
Are there any further questions? Thank you.
What can I
If
do
not, we'll close the public hearing at this time, 6:44. Welcome to all in attendance. This is our Tuesday, October 21st, regular session commission meeting. First item of business is the invocation. Reverend Favors, would you give the invocation?
Great Father, we're grateful for this day. We ask your blessings upon this work, this government, this county. Guide us as we make the decisions that they are wise to do the best for the citizenry in this place. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Now pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, for our regular public input, we do have Mr. Jawan Belton signed up. Jawan, do you want to address the board. I'll give you 3 minutes.
Sorry, I didn't get on the agenda, but the work schedule, you know, it was last minute, but the problem wasn't last minute. But the neighborhood is actually called Harrison Park. That's the street before McDuffie County Animal Hospital. And when Mr. Mark Herbert developed Oak Lane, the neighborhood on the bypass, we've had a drainage problem ever since. And Mr. Parker and his brother, Mr. Howard, everybody's property is adjacent on that street. And August the 23rd, when it rained, the water almost got up to Mr. John Parker's house. And Tori and when Chris was the manager of the road department, they came out and put in a bigger pipe. But just the way that Germany Creek, the stream actually runs all the way to Germany Creek. So you can't encroach a natural spring. So that's why we haven't took upon ourselves to try to do anything until we get like some officials involved. But I mean, it's just a major drainage problem. And also about a year ago, I came in about some speed humps on that street because Oak Lane, the only way to that neighborhood is down Harrison Drive. And I spoke with Mr. Herbert. I called him and asked why didn't they put a entrance on the bypass. He said the DOT said that he couldn't because the distance to the traffic light and the layout of the bypass, you know, you coming over hill then turning into the neighborhood, he said the DOT wouldn't allow him to do that. So that's why they had to use Harrison Drive. And they put 32 houses in Oak Lane. So it's just major traffic on Harrison Drive, that little bitty narrow street. And I mean, it's been, just the other night it was a car in the ditch. But I mean, it has to be something done because you got my grandkids, you got people with kids out playing. I mean, it's 50, 60, 70 miles per hour on that one little street. And I mean, it's just an influx of traffic. I mean, we like I say, I came 1 year ago and addressed this issue, but I mean, Reverend Favors, you got speed humps on your road. It worked, don't it?
It worked.
They work. I mean, we need one bad. We need some bad. I mean, that's just it. And like I say, with the water issue, I can't remember his name, but Mr. Parker had someone to come out and look. But I've even got, it's almost up to his house. And it has eroded. I've seen it over the street, so it's affecting everybody. And like I say, with Oak Lane, that's the only outlet that they have. I mean, it'll affect them too, but I mean, the earth around the pipe is about washed away.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that subdivision was approved by the city. As you know, it's in the city limits.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
The bypass cut it off from Northview. So, of course, you live in the county.
Yeah, right on the line.
Yes, sir. But Mr. Burton will probably reach out to you this week. They can go out there and figure out, you know, if there's anything that the county can do on our end.
Okay.
But he'll contact you and follow up with you about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
When the speed bump, we had a issue about that last year, and most of the time you have to get approval from the neighbors.
The neighbors.
Yes.
I've got a petition. Every person on that street signed it. I've got the petition that I presented last year.
Why don't you get that information to him as well?
If you'll write down your phone number, and there's my card.
That's a petition.
Okay.
Everybody signed.
Thank you, Juwan. We'll move on to our approvals. The first being of tonight's agenda. On the what now? Sir? You didn't sign up for public input? Yes, sir. Can you make it kind of quick? Go ahead. I think Ashton, you got the public input.
Ainsley Village.
My name's Bubba Hunt,
Yes, sir.
and I got property next to where you want. I know you want to build houses, but I've talked to a lot of people that live all around there. Nobody wants that subdivision in there. I'd love to see, if you wanna build a something, I'd love to see you go somewhere else and build it. But at the wetlands, that pond across the road up there with Benji Cranston, when it really rains, I mean, that thing, water comes around that pond for 4 or 5 days, and I mean, it floods and it goes right through that property. And then up in the curve where Second Chance Church is, and that curve by the Lions Club, there's a spring right in there. And that thing runs water all down through there all the time. And, even when we didn't have any rain for over a month, the middle of that road was standing in water from that spring going down through there. And I've had property out there for I don't know how many years, but I just hate to see that subdivision go in there and mess up even the wildlife in there and stuff. And I mean, and you said 300 something houses. I can't see it. And I really don't, I hate to see it even come in there. I know you wanna build houses, but I wish you would go somewhere else. But like I say, and I had a lot of folks that was gonna come up here, but I've talked to them, they don't want it, but I can't get them up here, they don't wanna come, but none of them really want it. I've been talking to not the first person in favor of that subdivision going in there,
Yes.
other than people are building it.
Well, thank
But
you.
I just, my input I want to put on, I definitely don't want it. Do I need to sign something?
You said
Thank you, Mr.
Bubba.
Bubba.
I wrote it.
All right, we'll move back on to our approvals, the first being
I wrote
of
it.
tonight's agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Yes, sir.
Motion made by Vice Chairman Wilson. Seconded by Commissioner Holloman, all in favor. Next item are 5 sets of minutes. Hope you reviewed those in your packet beforehand, but give you a second to look over those, and then Chair will entertain a motion. I did find one thing, Clerk Goodyear, on the minutes on letter E, special called session. There's a resolution that says XX, like you put a filler number in.
Okay.
It's at the very bottom. Is there a motion to approve those with that correction? Special called session October 13th. It's just a correction. Just a resolution number.
I'll make a motion to approve
Motion made for approval with the correction
with the correction.
by Commissioner Holloman,
Second.
second by Commissioner Favors. All in favor? Any opposed? Next is our information announcements. Youth basketball and cheer for 2026. Early registration begins October 5th through 19th at the Recreation Department. Regular registration is October 20th through December 8th. Camellia City Festival is Saturday, October 25th here at the Government Center grounds from 10 to 3. Number 7, join us Tuesday, October 28th from 5:15 to 7:15 at McDuffie County Extension Office for a hands-on workshop on food safety during storms. That is an invitation from the Extension Office. Number 8, the Recreation Department is hosting a trick-or-treat at the ballpark October 30th from 5 to 9. Number 9, monthly Alzheimer's and Dementia Support Group meetings are being held Wednesday, November 5th at 10 o'clock a.m. at the Thompson First Methodist Church. Number 10, free diabetes education classes begin November 12th from 4:30 to 5:30 at the Extension Office. 11, fall baseball softball camp being put on by the Recreation Department is November 13th through December 11th. Registration is open now for that. Number 12, McDuffie 4-H for Full Steam Ahead Club, November 17th, 5:30 to 6:45. You can reach out to the 4-H office for more information about that. Number 13, McDuffie 4-H for a Level Up Pathfinders Club, November 20th from 5:30 to 6:45 at the 4-H office. And number 14, the Toombs Judicial Circuit District Attorney's Office is hosting a record clearing event at the Thompson Housing Authority Saturday, November 22nd, starting at 11 o'clock a.m. For any more details on these announcements, feel free to reach out to Clerk Goodyear.
Yes, Clerk,
Yes, sir.
do we get anything from DOT, anybody about them working on the roundabout starting?
I saw the announcement on Facebook, and I shared it on the county's page, where the roundabout's going in.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I saw it on the news.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a good point. There is gonna be some shifts to the lane flow of traffic there at the new roundabout, on State Highway, Grants Highway, Highway 17. So more information can be found on the county's, you wanna put an
Facebook.
alert up?
Mhm.
With that, we'll move into our appointments. At our last meeting, the board approved, I'm getting ahead of myself. Number 15 is consideration to appoint Deputy Chief John Thigpen to the EMS Council. Is there anything to add from our county manager, Chief Sewell?
Mr. Chairman and Board, the county has two appointments to the Region 6 EMS Council. I'm sitting currently in one of the seats. Kay Lord has been sitting in the other one and had that since she was the deputy director at one time of EMS. Well, since we have kind of transitioned, Deputy Chief Thigpen has day-to-day responsibilities with EMS and fire. I just feel like he would be a good one to put in that second position at the EMS Council.
Are there any questions for Chief Sewell? Is this for next year's term? Does this start next year? Or
Actually, the EMS Council was running behind. This term actually started July 1st of this year. They just notified us within the last 2 weeks, sent an email to Mr. Burton, and we talked about it.
Okay.
So it's a 3-year term, actually, that began July 1st of this year and goes for 3 years.
3-year term.
Mhm.
If there are no questions for Chief Sewell, is there a motion to appoint or a motion to deny this appointment?
I'll make a motion to, appoint Deputy Chief John.
Second.
Commissioner Jopling, seconded by Vice Chairman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Our first staff report is from our county manager, item number 16.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a few things to update y'all on. We had kind of a short window, so we went ahead and applied for 2 interns for next fiscal year. This was through UGA program, but we don't know if we'll get selected for those or not. But obviously have more information for you in the budget workshops. But we had to turn this in on Monday, so we went ahead and applied for those. But if we get the approval, we'll work through the budget for that. I believe each intern was $3,000 plus their benefits, the taxes, and et cetera. So we're looking probably about $8,000 for both of them. I know the county has had them in the past. They've worked in the finance department. And again, we're asking if we're approved for the interns to work in finance and with the city clerk with filing and asset management. So that would be a big help. Probably in the next 2 weeks, since we had some money in an old SPLOST account, I'm gonna start working on renovating the Raysville fire station, or not renovating, but finishing out the inside. So that'll be at a work session coming soon, hopefully to review that and get that out on the street. We're currently talking with a contractor to finish the repairs out at the scale house at the transfer station. As y'all remember, it was damaged during an incident with a heavy truck. When I came on board a couple of weeks ago, I noticed it hadn't been finished, so I got with our facilities folks, and we're going to be trying to get that wrapped up before the winter sets in. Talked with our public works staff. I know there's been a lot of interest in the sinkhole out near Crystals. I believe we can do some of that work in-house and get that road, a portion of that road reopened. So I'm working with Tori. He's getting some prices on replacing that pipe on the county section. DOT and Crystals will obviously have some work to do on their side as well, but at least we can get our portion repaired and get that open back up. FEMA payments we're finally making some progress making those FEMA payments. Pam will have some information on that later. But we're starting to get some reimbursements in from the federal, the state and federal side, and in turn, we're able to start releasing payments from our side. As everyone knows, the library has been closed due to a mold issue. We're working with the library folks and the HVAC folks. They were actually out there today to track down the problem so we can take care of everything at once and get everything cleaned up and reopened. In addition to the scale house work out at the transfer station, we'll probably pick a Saturday and we'll have to close the site. There's a big hole out front in the pad at the transfer station, and that's getting causing some issues with the public and obviously our staff too. So we'll dig that section out. I've asked Tori to get some price on concrete, and the idea is we'll just close one Saturday. We'll do the concrete work, and then it'll be set and cured by Monday so we can resume for business. But when we have a date for that, I'll let you know as well. In relation to the federal shutdown, we did get word that our Medicare and Medicaid payments for EMS were likely suspended October the 1st. So as long as this drags out, we'll also, it'll start affecting local governments as well, and obviously update you any more on that. Our contractors begin work, the full depth reclamation out at Gilpin and Stagecoach. They hit a water line during the first iteration of it, so they pulled back, having everything relocated just to make sure that that there's no other issues that they run into. So if they do have utilities that are in the work area, they can take care of that before they hit it. So hopefully all that'll resume within the next 2 weeks. But they're moving to other roads inside that's on that work list inside McDuffie County, so they've not left the county. I know, I think a couple of months ago, there were some questions about the radar signs that was installed under the Safe Streets program, and the speed limit had changed on those roads. I talked with our engineer that's doing the project management on that. They were put up erroneously, so they went back and put the correct speed limit sign to 45 on that. And I submitted the notice of intent to get our stormwater grading permit yesterday for the Blind Willie Park. So hopefully we'll have a groundbreaking somewhere around the 1st of December. There's a process for the state to approve those soil erosion plans. Once we get that back, we can issue a notice to proceed and start work. And Mr. Chair, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. Are there any questions? If not, we'll move to number 17, Fire Utility Committee Report.
Just wanted to give you a brief recap that we had the Fire Utility Committee convene. I think it was a pretty good discussion. We didn't get into budgetary discussions too much. This was just basically an overview of how and where stations are staffed within McDuffie County. And then this is the first step, whatever you want to call it, of developing a 10-year fire and emergency service plan for McDuffie County. So it just basically started where we had been and the next steps to get there. So the committee had asked for some budgetary data, so our next meeting will be sometime in November, and that's when we'll start, looking at taking a wholesale look at the finances.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Burton? If not, number 18, Finance Director's Report.
The budget report presented tonight is for the month of September 2025, which represents 75% of the budget year. General fund has expended $20,416,594.24. This represents 54.6% of the revised county budget that has been expended. General fund revenue collections are $17,122,762.99. This represents 45.6% of the estimated revenues for general fund have been collected. The remainder of this report shows all expenses and revenue collections for grant funds, special revenue funds, and capital projects funds. For the enterprise funds, If you look at the solid waste, it reflects a loss of this year for $47,436.01. Big Heart and Raceville Campgrounds have earned $108,702.29 this year. And the Fire and Emergency Services Fund has a current deficit of $3,392,973.67. General Fund has contributed to the transit program $134,127.07. And General Fund also has contributed to the 911 Center $231,174.30 for this year. For Hurricane Helene, as of September 30th, we have paid $10,918,060.81. During the month of October, we paid another $915,000. Moving over to the financial report that you have. The first report you have is the county bank balances as of September 30th. And the general fund bank balances total $3,654,189. Enterprise funds total $955,168. Grant funds total $1,645,961. Special revenue accounts, $1,169,089. SPOS and T-SPOS balances are $19,147,278. The LMIG account has $2,155,056. And the TAN fund has $9,900,607. And I'll call your attention to the TAN has earned $34,680 for the month of September. The next report you have is hotel tax collections. Collections for the month of September were $20,560. And if we compare this to this point last year, it's a 6% increase. The next report you have is local option sales tax. Collections for the month of September were $261,932. And for the month compared to last September, this is a 2.5% increase. But overall, for the year compared to this point last year, is around an 8% increase. The next report you have is Tidal Avalon taxes. Collections for the month for Avalon was $10,667. Taft collections was $111,084. The next report you have is energy excise tax. Collections for the month were $47,218, which represents a 4% increase over this time last year. Your next report is transportation SPOS. Collections for September were $108,065. There were $38,447 in expenses and interest income of $2,344. Moving over to your next report is SPOS 6. The only activity for the month is interest income of $8,124. And the final report you have is SPOS 7. Collections for the month were $393,969. There were expenses of $6,324. Of that amount, $174 was paid towards the park for Blind Willie Park. $1,200 was paid for a survey, a plat, and $4,950 was paid for an engineer work at solid waste. And the only other activity was interest income of $45,494 of interest. Does anyone have any questions on any of those reports?
I was just looking at the expenditures for water and sewer, which is, total. Is that the correct total amount? It's $355,900?
That would be total for the entire SPOS.
Well, that's with all the projects we got going on. and the money allocated to that, why, I mean, I would think we need to move forward on some of that.
There was a water sewer meeting this afternoon. Was there any?
Yeah,
Discussion?
So those, water sewer funds are allocated for projects that just have not, it's not time to pay out. But that money was, I'm pretty sure, allocated to, city-county joint projects to the water sewer for infrastructure.
Right.
So it will be spent. But, we had an update tonight on 5 different projects that are,
I mean, that's,
have begun.
in 2 years, hasn't anything been done.
They're moving forward. I mean, they're all underway, just hadn't had to pay yet. And then Pam, just for the deficit on the fire and EMS, that the revenues for that budget line item are all collected at the end of the year. So that,
Yes.
I mean, it runs in the red until the end of the year.
It is. There was $1.4 million collected for insurance premium tax that was collected in October. As the property taxes are collected, the fire fee revenues will be coming in as well to hopefully cover the majority of that.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for the finance director? If not, we'll move to old business. The first being a consideration to approve a resolution 25-09, appointment of Mary Sherr to the Board of Assessors. As I mentioned earlier when I got ahead of myself, we made this appointment last month, but we're asking for official action authorizing me to sign this resolution. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Motion made by Vice Chairman Wilson,
I'll second.
seconded by Commissioner Holloman. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 20, consideration to approve 2026 CDBG project. And Nisi Long is here tonight to give us a brief update on that.
Good evening. Do you just want me to go over the options?
You can, I think, Mr. Burton, did you have anything specific? In there
Or
a
any
deadline that
question?
we need to meet for this, deciding as far as?
So the application is due April 10th, but we have to procure for either an engineer or an architect. And their report is due to us in February, so the sooner you procure for that, the more time they have. Because it's a 30-day process that we put in the paper. And then you guys would have a selection committee to select an engineer and architect, and then you would have to award it at the next commission meeting.
So, since, for time purposes tonight, can you just go over the housing versus the
Yes.
gym project?
So the first option you have
Infrastructure, excuse
is renovating the old school gym and turning it into a McDuffie County recreation gym. I think it would be multi-purpose court for my meeting. So there would be pickleball courts, basketball courts, and it would be also with showers, so in an emergency shelter, people could walk to it instead of driving out to the county location. Another option is you guys could do a multi-activity, which would include infrastructure like flood and drainage improvements, sidewalks, curb and gutter, and housing improvements. And I think they were looking at the Cherokee neighborhood. Other option is just doing housing improvements in that neighborhood, and it would only be renovating or reconstructing owner-occupied houses in that neighborhood. Or you could just do infrastructure in that neighborhood. Or perhaps that neighborhood they mentioned earlier tonight. Just infrastructure. So those are your 5 options that you have. We would just like you to make a decision tonight so we could start procuring for either an engineer or an architect, or no one if you do housing only. Any questions, comments?
So you do need an answer tonight, in order to.
I would like an answer tonight so we could run it in the paper next week.
When we I apologize, when we created the draft agenda, the staff report was in there, but for some reason it's not showing up tonight. But there was a list of dates, if we could get some direction from the board tonight. That way we can stay on that timeline so we can retain an engineer and get in the queue to complete this project and apply for these funds.
Yeah, I think
And
I did
when's the
a
last time?
timeline draft for like last week, picking someone or waiting till your work session. And it's just more time for the engineer and the architect. That would be the only benefit of selecting one tonight. And if you guys want to wait, you can.
Yeah, you're ready to get going though, I know with,
We would like to
process.
start, but it's not my decision.
Yes, sir. So the idea was that if we use the CDBG funds, if approved, of course, for the gym, we would be able to kind of knock two birds out with one stone as far as remodeling the elections facility that the county moved forward with acquiring a few years back. If we can find funds, hopefully with our Hurricane Helene, at ACCG, they talked about maybe some funding possibilities coming down from the state. But this would be in hopes that we find funds to do the election facility. We can do elections and the gym and the parking area there and finish out that project that's been lingering for many years.
Yeah, that back building.
Yeah, this would require us getting the elections facility fixed so they can move out and then remodel the gym for the in-town gym. Was that your question? Well, the project wouldn't begin for how long?
So the application's due April 10th. You wouldn't find out until Labor Day. And then it's roughly 6 to 8 months of design. So it would be like summer of 27 that construction would start.
The problem with that, we don't have any money for the elections.
So we've applied for a grant because of the FEMA damage to the roof. And then we had hoped to move forward with finishing the elections building sooner rather than later. Because so our elections director said that, you know, she was under the impression that she was moving in that building years ago. Obviously, we don't have the funds set aside or allocated, so that's not happening tomorrow. But the county is diligently looking for ways to make that project happen because the state made changes to the election rules a couple years back, and we're just trying to finish the project that was already kind of on the radar.
Yeah, that was one other unfunded mandate that they ran down to us, and they don't have it, didn't attach any funds with it.
Correct.
So you can't move elections out of the gym without somewhere for them to go. And that's my question is, if we don't have the funds for that, it's hard to make that decision tonight.
I understand.
When the state says they're gonna do funds, but, you know, who
So
believes the
we
state?
we could pick an infrastructure project in a neighborhood that needs.
Go with the gym, cause she said it ain't be available to 27.
If you're good, y'all go with the gym, I'm fine with it. It's a community, benefits the entire community. That's kind of what my thinking is.
The gym,
Yeah.
What do y'all
Okay.
Jim?
gym,
Yeah.
recreation.
Okay. And Nisi, can you explain too for the board, the CDBG, if we apply this year and we're awarded, how soon we could apply for another one?
So if you're awarded this gym, it's for $1 million, and the cash match would be $47,500. Hopefully you can do the gym for that amount, and that you're not building a new one, so you probably can. It's just renovating and updating everything in that facility. Like I said, it would be awarded Labor Day weekend, and then it's a 2-year project. So you guys would be eligible to apply again in 28 for CDBG. And then you could select an area to do either infrastructure and housing, or just housing. And you are eligible to apply for the CHIP application, which is due in January, maybe February, and that's just for housing improvements, if you guys wanted to start on housing in McDuffie County too. Sorry, I gave you guys lots of options.
Thought the chip left in the big beautiful bill.
So we were told at the workshop in Macon that HUD requested $33 billion, and they were told $31 billion was appropriated for HUD. So apparently it wasn't cut out.
So they got 31 billion.
But that's for the entire
I
United
understand
States.
that.
Yes. So Georgia will probably receive roughly $50 million again. I think that's been their standard the last few years.
So that's for this, okay,
And that would be for the 2026 applications.
26 applications.
Mm-hmm. That's what we were told.
That's great news to me.
I mean, yeah, it was for me.
The
I
Lord
didn't
heard
know.
my prayers.
So HUD apparently was not cut out of that bill completely.
Okay.
Of course, that's not much money for the entire state of Georgia.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Well, I think they only received 40-something applications last year and awarded 34. So,
Shoot, that's $1 million a piece.
well, some of them are 1.25. So, just depending on your project.
So it sounds like consensus is that we let the regional commission apply for the CDBG project toward the gym remodel. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Favors,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Holloman. All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, Nisi, for being here tonight.
Okay.
New business, we'll move right along to the first item of consideration to approve frontage and private road on Adams Chapel Road. Recommendation, you've heard from the planning director.
Excuse me, Chair. Mr. Ken Huff would like to address the board, if you guys don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, we'll give you a minute real quickly.
First time attending a county commission meeting, so
Yes, sir.
missed the sign up stuff on the remarks. Just here with my family and letting you know we've gone through the process and make the requests. I think I've talked to several of you about this early on in the development of this. We've got the property under contract. We've invested some of our own earnest money that's non-refundable to extend to get through the planning and approval process. He did a good job of explaining what we had presented at the last meeting. The planning commission approved it unanimously. We accepted all of their recommendations, which went along with what our intent and plans are, is to put something in that would enhance the part of the county that we would be looking to move into. So just wanted to come here and, and ask that you guys would support what the planning director and commission have already recommended. We've got our family here tonight waiting in anticipation of seeing what the next steps in our life are going to be, but we're hoping to have a multi-generational homestead. We've been living with 4 generations since Hurricane Helene, and 3 years ago, my mother-in-law, we built a cottage on our property where we live currently, and have found living with family day in and day out has been a tremendous blessing for us. So when this property came available on that part of the county, which is on the side where my son's pastored for 10 years up in Deering at Calvary Baptist Church, it was just a unique opportunity for us to put down roots and put something in, and trying to work through the nuances of the government to figure out a way to make it affordable for us and benefit to the county. So if you guys had any questions on the project before you guys consider it, be happy to answer.
Thank you. Any questions? A little out of order, but thank you for
All right,
speaking.
thank you.
So you see the planning board's recommendation for approval with the stipulations. Is there a consideration for approval of the planning board's recommendation?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Joplin has made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Favors. All in favor? Any opposed? Number 22, consideration to approve subdivision Ansley Village. Let me get back to my report. Planning board's recommendation was for approval with conditions. I want to get very clear on what the conditions that the developer has asked to waive, which was a setback going from 10 foot to 7.5. And removal of a requirement for hardy plank around the sides. My recommendation typically is that the planning board has made their recommendation. like making too many changes to that, because I feel like they spent a whole hour discussing this, but, I do understand, you know, kind of what he's saying, so I will entertain a motion for approval of the planning board's recommendation, or a different motion.
Let's see, we were talking about, there was one of those that had trees or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He had a
that-
question too.
And we may need
and
him to
we
come.
never addressed that, so I don't know.
Before, the board makes a motion, would you just clear up exactly what items you were asking to change? The exterior on 3 sides.
Yes, the 3 sides, we would like to keep the front stone, hardy plank, brick, or a combination of all. Excuse me. And then 3 sides vinyl. And then the other was to reduce the side setback. The planning commission recommended 10 feet. We would like to go to 7.5. Other conditions that they applied to the approval were good with. The trees, 1 in every yard or 1 every 50 feet, we're good with that. Of course, we'll meet your county specifications for requirements for subdivisions, whatever it is in the book, that's what we're gonna meet. I know you got a different thing than I do. So.
Yeah, I found it. They pointed it out. The
Oh,
A through,
okay.
A through H.
I mean, the fire hydrants, the flow test, my engineer will do that. We'll get a flow test on it. Cul-de-sac, the street lights, it's our intention to put that in. The curbing, sidewalks meet code, of course, whatever. I gotta meet the codes. Home size, we'll keep it at the 17 to 24. And compliance with your subdivision, housing numbering, mail receptacle placement, whatever that is, we are willing to do. We do provide, I try to put the kiosks, that's for, those CBUs. I'd like to try to get those in the amenity center. I've done that, where they're all in one location, which really makes the post office happy, because they don't like to go around too much. But it's just the 2 we talked about, the 3 sides vinyl and the 7.5 feet on your setback. I hope I explained it.
I understand your explanation.
Okay.
What was the planning and zoning, what was their recommendation with no vinyl? What, just looks entirety or what?
My understanding was they were more concerned about fire.
Fire.
That's what they said. I was a gentleman in the audience, I don't know if it was the planning commission people sitting here, but someone said when they reviewed the plans, because I went for a design review meeting with a lot of staff, and they had mentioned that, and that's when I went and I looked to see what the building code was. And, you know, even at 5 feet, you're still got 10 foot of separation. So I felt, you know, when it said it has to be greater than 1, that's what I put in your package. We would like to have the 7.5. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to have 5, but I can live with the 7.5. That'll still work with the neighborhood design we have presented.
This is the property line, that setback is 7.5 foot this way, 7.5 foot.
So, yeah,
That's where
15
you get
feet.
this 15 feet.
15
from.
feet.
Yeah, 15 feet between homes.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we table and send it back to the planning board. Let him discuss what he want to change since the original discussion.
Okay, the motion is to send this back to the planning board. For you would have to go back to the planning board and discuss this with them.
Okay.
And then come back with the recommendation.
That's what we need to do. I'm willing to do it.
I second that, just so we're all on the same page and not changing on the fly during the meeting.
I understand.
I'd like some discussion on that, but I would like to, I feel like 7.5 is adequate, you know, with the, and I'm gonna vote for the amendment, but I'm just feel like 7.5 would be okay, and I feel like the vinyl would be okay, so I'm just saying that I agree with the board but I'm
Understand.
I'm thinking that the planning board will probably come back with this as well.
Sure.
I don't have a problem with, we had agreed some time ago with just as long as the front was,
Yeah.
as long as the size is, if it's not a public safety type of issue, I would be good with it. I think the aesthetics from the front will give us enough. Affordable housing needs to be affordable.
Yeah, that's kind of my point is,
Affordable housing, we have a problem in this nation with affordable housing.
Then it gets not to be affordable anymore.
Yeah.
So the motion is, to send this back to the planning board for a recommendation, and then seconded by, Commissioner Holloman. So all in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Number 23, consideration to approve FY 2026 CSRA EOA agreement. Mr. Burton, is that?
Stephanie?
Here.
Good evening. The CSRA EOA, contract is for $10,000. It's supposed to go from October the 1st of this year to September the 30th of 2026. That grant helps with my instructors, the exercise, computer, craft instructor. Anything that I need, they pay up to 30% on whatever the amount is. They do 30% of that amount. So right now, we still got to go on, but we haven't got no funds right now for this. But I'm just asking y'all to approve it, because they're still telling us to go ahead on and buy whatever we need or what we need to do. And when the money come in, that they will send it to us.
So
It's for $10,000.
is there a motion to approve the 26 CSRA EOA agreement with the Senior Center?
So much.
Commissioner Favor, second by Commissioner Joplin, all in favor? Any opposed? Next item is consideration to approve a budget policy amendment. Mr. Burton?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe every year prior to my coming here, y'all set up a budget policy, and then being the lateness of the year, I wanted to adjust a couple of items in the budget schedule. Under item 6, I inserted a capital expenditures that we're requesting departments. This will be a new thing, and for them to keep in mind when they're developing the budget and the execution of the budget. We're still trying to rebuild our fund balance from Hurricane Helene, and in order to do that, we're just going to have to manage our cash flow very carefully. We have been and will continue to have to manage that cash flow into 2026. So departments will need to basically submit a purchasing plan to the finance director and the county manager. So we'll have a heads up on any major purchases that'll occur within that quarter. This isn't to approve or deny the purchase, but it's just to let us know how to manage our cash flow a little bit better. So that's a request that I had from the previous model. And then November the 8th, November the 18th, December the 3rd, and December the 16th would be the first two would be work sessions. That's coming up in 2 weeks. We're currently working on developing, truing up the budget, developing our revenues and expenditures, and we'll have a proposed budget by the 8th. I'm not going to pretend with a short time that it'll be fully balanced, but we'll have a pretty good direction of where everything sits, and then we can take input from the board on things that y'all would like to see as well. And then again on the 18th, we had November the 8th. Did that? It's the 3rd. Okay. They're telling me that there's a date wrong, so that should be November the 3rd. So I believe the 8th's on a Saturday. I don't know that y'all want to meet Saturday at night, but I've met on the weekends before, so November the 3rd.
Commissioner Favors has, made a motion to approve your budget amendment.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Holloman, all in favor? 25, consideration to approve proposed SPOS timeline. This is just a timeline, that we have prepared with Mr. Burton, Ms. Workman, for the, SPOS timeline. It'll come up in the spring to start discussing with the county and the city potential projects. So that is in the packet. Is there a motion to approve this timeline?
So moved.
Motion made by Vice Chairman Wilson, seconded by Commissioner Favors. All in favor? Item number 26 is a consideration to approve change order for patching and paving. Mr. Burton, do you want to give the background on this real quickly?
Yes, so we had, as you know, E.R. Snell has already contracted with the county to do some road work for the 2025 LMIG. There's some additional funds in T-Splice that we can use. We'll add Russell's Landing, Bowden Pond, Radford Gay, and George McDuffie Road. We had Atlas, our project manager, look at it, and E.R. Snell offered a change order number 1 for $269,922.50. That will make the repairs on those roads.
And we have that.
Yes, sir.
Again, these are all roads that are, Russell's Landing is significantly damaged from the storm, but of course, we didn't have money in our LMIG to do the entire road. It's miles long. E.R. Snell added these on for patching at that price out of our TIA funds.
And that's to be, as soon as they finish the roads already.
They're just tacking.
Yes, while they're still in the county.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Holloman, seconded by Commissioner Joplin. All in favor? Number 27, consideration to authorize the chairman to execute a contract for Knox Rivers Road waterline improvements. This is a project started before I took office. The IDA had approved funding this project out of SPOS funds. This and the next item on Reese Road are both for 2 industrial businesses in the county that needed a water hydrant within a certain amount of feet in order to make the project happen. It's my understanding. This project started before I was here. Contract documents are ready to sign and move forward. Again, this is a county project, so from our water sewer agreement, you know how our structure is set up with the Joint Water Sewer Commission, it requires this board's approval. But the IDA plans to fund these 2 projects.
That's correct.
So is there a motion to approve authorization for the contract for Knox Rivers Road water line extension?
I make the motion to approve with a question.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Joplin made the motion, seconded by Vice Chairman Wilson.
Where is this Reese Road?
Reese Road runs by 2 State.
Yeah, I know where it is. I'm looking at the map and I can't figure out it.
It's actually on Washington Road, I think, where the work, I think the plans are in here, but where the work is going to be located. But originally.
It's a direct bore under the highway. It's
Under
just
17?
Under 17.
Well,
It's
that's what
just-
it looks like.
Just
But then
back
it
this
said
side
Reese
of the
Road,
commercial.
and it's kinda
Yes.
like, it says on 17, but then it said Reese Road, so that was my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the intersection, but it's a bore, they'll bore water line under 17.
Yeah.
Motion and second for approval. All in favor? Any opposed? Next item is the same thing for Reese Road. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Joplin, seconded by Vice Chairman Wilson. All in favor? Any opposed? Number 29, consideration to authorize the chairman to execute a contract for repaving Sweetwater baseball parking lot.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Vice
Is that
Chairman
paid
Wilson.
Is that paid for by?
Seconded by Commissioner Favors.
Yeah, I know, I got a second, but is that paid for by insurance, or who's paying for that?
This will come out of, SPOS funds.
Lost funds? Recreation?
Yes, some funds that were there after they were rebalanced, and we'll have adequate funding for the baseball tower as well.
Okay.
All in favor? Any opposed? With that, is there a motion to move into executive session for cybersecurity update?
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Vice Chairman Wilson, seconded by Commissioner Favors.
Go ahead and second it.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was I got it
Is
mixed
this
up.
personnel in this meeting too?
Is there personnel for tonight?
Yes.
Okay, excuse me,
Yes.
cybersecurity and personnel. Motion made by Vice Chairman Wilson, seconded by Commissioner
Doesn't
Joplin.
matter. You can second it, vote your way.
No, no. So for the record.
Tonight on those two items, we'll open the doors back and add those to the agenda.